Okay, I'm live again. I'm live again. Okay. Yeah. I gotta be careful I don't bite these because they're bioplastic, not metal all the way through. Like bar is plastic. So yeah. Anyway, opening myself up once again. I'm going to allow people into my life so that they can gain some sort of insight and understand. I'm going through. Okay. I have had a diagnosis since I was since I think 2010, I think.
Yes.
So I think 2010, I've had a diagnosis for hepatitis C.
Fridays are optional for me.
I did used to initiate in self-mutilation. I do have a lot of homemade tattoos. I'm not sure how I got it. I did at one point in time when I met Jeffrey Martin Miller.
Not gonna talk
About what?
Jeffrey Martin Miller.
Oh no, well no, because he one person before him had introduced me to I had used drugs intravenously like one time before. When I met Jeffrey Miller, like that's all he did was use intravenously and smoke methamphetamines. Like that's all he did all the time. And so yes, I had a lapse of judgment. That was before Linnea, my daughter, was born, before I was pregnant with her. Yeah. I was trying to survive and be okay with a motherfucking disgusting freak that wouldn't leave me alone. Sorry to be abusive, but I can't, like I said, he's the one I can't hold my tongue about. Anyways, in 2010, I was diagnosed with hepatitis C. I don't know what to expect. I've neglected it. I've neglected it all this time. And,
Yeah, 4.
yeah.
Broken 2 diamonds.
I was thinking in California that could have been part of my struggle with being tired all the time, and that wasn't what it was. I was so depressed and oppressed, abused by the system and Jeffrey Martin Miller and everybody else that I couldn't function. But this is proof, because here I am on no medications, no psych meds at all.
Oh, so do you want to know what
None.
I found?
I'm not having bipolar episodes. I'm not having mania episodes. I'm not having meltdowns, which is what I was having out there frequently because I was emotionally overstimulated all the time, unless I dumb myself down with alcohol or whatever. And then, anyways, I'm out here. All I take is Lunesta, because if I don't, I'll go to sleep at like 4 a.m. and wake up at 6 or 7. And then eventually I'll just be like a zombie because I can't get myself to sleep. Anyhow, that's all I take, period. But I am seeking treatment for my Hep C. And yes, this is personal sensitive information that is covered by the Privacy Act, but this is something I want to share with people because I have a fear. Like I've heard so many bad things about hepatitis C treatment. Like I didn't even have the understanding that it could be eradicated or treated until recently. I just had in my mind that it was something I was going to have to live with forever. It was never going to go away. I was never going to. So I kind of ignored it. And so for those of you that are like neglecting it, if any of you have a diagnosis for hepatitis C, don't neglect it. I've neglected it for 10 years. And I just got my lab work. My doctor just called me over there for my lab work, and they do like a viral load, quantitative HCV viral loads, 4,130,000. And if you're receiving treatment, or you've received treatment, the expected is 15 or below. Anything under 15 is not detected. Not detected. That says high, obviously. That's flagged. My hepatitis C virus RNA quantitative real-time PCR is 4,130,000, and it's a flag for high. Oh, that's my information on there. Anyways, after that, it has the Hep C virus RNA. I'm not sure what that is, but and these are the ones that are logged in the out of range and also flagged for high. 6.62, and the expected is 1.18. Anything below 1.18 is not detected. Protein. My protein total squared. I don't know. I don't know how to read the labs, but protein, that's in range. That's within range, 6.9. Albumin is within range. It's 3.7. Globulin is in range. It's 3.2. Albumin, globulin. Are you talking to me?
No, I'm not talking.
Okay. Is she really listening? Albumin globulin ratio is within range. It's 1.2. Alkaline phosphatase is within range. It's 76. GGT. I don't know what GGT is, but it's within range at 49. Alanine aminotransferase. I don't know what that is. And then there's aspartate aminotransferase, which from what I Googled is what indicates liver damage. And those are out of range. One being at 146 when the expected range is between 5 and 46. The other being 118 and the expected range is 10 to 41. So lactate dehydrogenase, whatever that is, 204. Bilirubin within range at 0.4. Bilirubin direct within range at less than 0.2. Oh, wait, is it greater than or less than? I don't know. Bilirubin indirect. See comment. Unable to calculate result. I don't know why. Maybe it's not part of the lab. Okay, hepatitis A antibody. SC manufacturers not established performance characteristics for patients less than 2 years of age. I'm obviously more than 2 years of age. That was non-reactive. So I did not, no Hep A, no Hep B. Let's see, Hep B surface antigen. I don't know what any of this is. Okay. So yeah, performance characteristics of this assay have not been established for children under 18 months of age. CDC and USPSTF guidelines recommend confirmation of HCV antibody results with HCV PCR. HCV nucleic acid test with a lower limit of detection of approximately with adequate sample. Okay, so
I don't know what you're talking about.
Hep C antibody reference range
Yeah.
is okay. 0.79 is non-reactive. 0.80 to 0.99 is equivocal, and 1 point above 1 is reactive. And I'm hepatitis C antibody screen results. Mine are 11. So, I mean, that's a good thing. That shows that I do have antibodies. It does show, and I discussed this with my doctor. She said, yes, she kind of tooted my horn for me. She's like, oh, you're pretty smart, aren't you? I mean, it's a good thing that my immune system is building antibodies and that it is reacting in defense of my liver and my body. So, yes, I do get tested. By the way, I think everybody should for HIV and AIDS. I do get tested for those. I've never been exposed to them that I'm aware of, but I still do get tested for them every time I'm tested for any STDs. Of course, I'm not sexually active right now, so I don't really get tested for STDs, but anyways, that's irrelevant. I still probably need to because I have been sexually active since the last time I was tested for STDs. And I mean, there's always a chance. Even when you wear condoms, people remember this. Remember this, okay? This is probably not anything anyone wants to hear about, but remember this. If you're sitting there touching yourself, they're touching themselves. If you're having protected sex, but if there are bodily fluids coming in contact with hands or legs or any other part of your body, they can still transmit a sexually transmitted disease. I just want you to be aware of that. Because if sperm is on his hand and he goes and does whatever to your hoo-ha, okay, you can still get If bodily fluids are there to transmit it, you can still get an STD, no matter whether you wear a condom or not. I just want to make people aware of that, okay? And herpes, nothing protects against herpes except for no contact at all, because if there's skin-to-skin contact, you can still get herpes. You can also get herpes through blood to blood contact, I believe, which is how I believe I got it. I think I got it from getting my nails done at a nail salon, because there's no other explanation as to why I would get it on my middle finger. There's no explanation. I mean, herpes, whitlow is what they call it, whitlow. And I don't know if they understand. Maybe they don't understand. I don't know. I haven't explored enough to even care, because over 50% of the population has herpes, and there's herpes 1, there's herpes 2. You can have either one in either place.
Yeah.
Okay. And apparently on your middle finger. So that being said, there are 8 types of herpes, and those include chicken pox. Those include shingles. Those include cold sore herpes. Those include vaginal herpes. Those include whitlow. Those include a lot of things. So, just saying. Yes, I get herpes on my middle finger. So if I flip you off, you better run. Just kidding. Anyway, no, when I do have an outbreak, I cover it with a Band-Aid. I keep it washed. I don't pop any blisters. I don't do anything to disturb my skin. And it generally only happens when something traumatizes my skin. Like if I bump it hard on something, or if I go out in the dirt and it gets maybe a tiny little scratch or something, then I'll get an outbreak. But when I do, I wash it frequently. I cover it with a Band-Aid. I don't bust any of the blisters, because, I mean, obviously that's how and when you transfer it. But I wash my hands frequently. I put Band-Aids on. I don't run around rubbing my finger in people's faces. Anyhow. So yes, herpes and Hep C. Don't judge me. I'm not generally sexually active, so nobody has to worry about it. And I don't have sex with my middle finger, so. Anywho. As I was saying, yes, I'm going to take everyone with me on this journey. I was very frightened at first to get treatment, mainly because all I really heard about was interferon. When I was first diagnosed, all I was hearing about was interferon, and it's just like chemotherapy. Not just like it, but very similar to chemotherapy. And you hear horror stories and you see horror stories about chemotherapy and such. It's a form of radiation, if I'm not mistaken. Interferon is, and it's not anything that makes you feel good. They try to eradicate the virus and do so without eradicating the person. So I do have a little bit of apprehension, but from what I hear, and I know some people that have gone through treatment and who are now undetectable, and they're doing fine. And they said that they had no problems. And I guess it'd be different. We're all going to react differently to medications, but I'm finally getting this taken care of. I don't care that this is out here. I really, if someone can gain some insight from it, I awesome. Okay. Awesome. Cyclovir, I think. Cyclovir is what they give me when I think that's what it's called, when I have an outbreak on my finger, which is very few. I haven't had an outbreak since Indio. I think that was for weeds without, when I pull weeds without a glove, my finger will have an outbreak. But anyways, I've never had anything anywhere else. Nowhere on my mouth, nowhere on my vagina. It does, however, when I do get an outbreak, it gets so excruciating and it runs a red line. You know how when you get an infection in your blood, you get an infection in your hand or somewhere else, you get a secondary infection, they call it, and it starts to run through your blood, through your system. It runs all the way to my shoulder sometimes, to where my arm is completely incapacitated when I have an outbreak on my finger. So I do my best to keep my fingers protected and not do anything traumatizing to them, to my hands, at all costs, because it's not worth it. It's very excruciating. I can't even imagine what people that get it on their vaginas go through. I couldn't even imagine. Herpes, not anything you want on your vagina or your face or your finger. Like, seriously, no bullshit. And I don't care. I don't care who knows this. I'm telling you right now. I don't know how anybody who gets it on their vagina survives. Wow. It's horrifying just on my finger alone. And it goes all the way up to my shoulder. It's that excruciating. Anywho, so yeah, I'm waiting for a referral from my doctor so I can go be treated for Hep C. I am a little bit apprehensive. I am a little bit concerned as to how my body is going to respond. I do sometimes tend to be sensitive to certain things. I can't take Keflex. I can't take Bactrim. Just drugs that most people tolerate just fine. Keflex cause a lot of stomach upset, but it's ridiculously beyond stomach upset with me. And sulfa drugs. I guess Bactrim is a sulfa drug. Anywho, yeah, so I'm going to get these things taken care of. I want to urge anyone else that has these issues, not the herpes, because you can't get rid of it. But anyways, like I said, 50%, probably more than that now. For every one person you talk to, every two people you talk to, one of them has herpes. Whether they know it or not. Out of every two people you talk to, one of them has herpes simplex 1 or herpes simplex 2. Or there's 8 different types of herpes. And we are exposed to the majority of them by the time we are, what do they say? 8 years old or 5 years old? So I don't know. I did a lot of research when I was diagnosed with it. I was like, how do I even have, I just got checked for it because when you go to Planned Parenthood, you have to request that one. It's not part of the if you go in and say, I want tested for everything, they're going to test you for everything that they can find in a pap smear or a what they call a swab test. They're going to test you for everything there, but they actually have to draw blood to test you for herpes. So unless you've had symptoms of it, they're generally not going to perform that test unless you actually request it. So I was like, okay, I haven't had symptoms. She asked me too. She's like, have you had symptoms ever? I was like, no, I haven't had any symptoms. I just want to be tested for it. I want to know, making sure that I don't have anything. I got it tested for HIV. I got tested for herpes. I got tested for all the STDs. All the STDs were cleared. Some bacterial vaginosis. A lot of women get that with soap. I get soap and soap and let me see. Okay, not washing your hands before sex or after sex. If you masturbate, not washing your hands before and after, or after before you masturbate. You can get vaginosis, vegetosis, whatever they call it, which can be mistaken for an STD. That's not an STD. Bacterial vaginosis, vegetosis. I don't know. Anyway, but you can get that from any number of things. From fecal matter. If you're not wiping the right way, you can get it. I get it sometimes when I wear maxi pads instead of tampons. I get it sometimes when I wear thongs instead of regular underwear. But that's not to be confused with an STD. Okay. So anyways, they did the whole screening thing. And then the one thing I did come back positive for was herpes. And who'd have thought, because I never, ever had symptoms. And then that's when I asked them, I was like, well, they've been telling me that that something on my finger. I had been to a doctor like probably 3 or 4 times prior to this for my finger. And at first they ruled it an insect bite. That was the first outbreak I had. The second time they ruled it cellulitis. And then they said sometimes when you had an insect bite, the trauma to the skin causes you to have another infection. Like if you, like it can come back. Like and then the third time is when the doctor I do remember the third time the doctor was like, okay, well, I'm starting to wonder if this may be something viral, because that was the third time. And then I didn't pursue it until after that, until I went to Planned Parenthood in India, and I was like, okay, yeah, test me for everything. And that's when I found out that's what this is. And so that being said, because I wasn't mad at anybody but myself. I was like, okay, lay down a dog to get fleas. But I really don't think I got it from having sex. I really think I got it from having my nails done in a professional salon where they weren't keeping up with their sanitation requirements. And that's the only way I can think, because why would it be right there on my cuticle? It started happening right after I had been in Las Vegas visiting with her. Okay, that's when I got stuck in Las Vegas with her. Her father went on vacation, and I was stuck in Vegas again. And then I had a very good friend of mine. Well, actually, a friend of mine's brother, who became a good friend of mine, helped me get back to California. Right after that is the first time I had an outbreak on my finger. And then Yeah, right after that was the first time I had an outbreak on my finger, and that was after pulling weeds in someone's backyard. Yeah, helping someone clear out the weeds in the backyard, and then my finger broke out. When I thought it was a spider bite. I thought I'd been bitten by a spider. So anyway, needless to say, that was it. That was all. So the Hep C, we're going to handle that. I'm going to keep everybody posted. I'll share with you the options that they give me and how they affect me, so that others can maybe look back. So that will be another series I'm going to start, is me and my Hep C journey. I want to put as much content out there to help people, because I know a lot of the things I wonder about, and a lot of things I learn about, I get the information from YouTube. Like Swift, for instance, there's a guy out there, 50 plus trucker, awesome guy. Let everyone go with him on his journey through Swift and their training program. And for what, or when with, he covered what? He covered everything when he was able to cover it, and when they allowed him to. There were, I think, certain aspects that obviously he's not allowed to share, but he took everyone with him on his journey. 50 plus trucker. He's the one that gave me so much, because I kept hearing shit from it. And he said it in some of his videos too. You hear people talk shit about all these companies, but like in 4 days, he made $700 and something. Like, are you kidding me? Oh, that's not enough money for driving a truck. What the fudge? It's not enough money for driving. People are expecting to get paid like out the ass for shit. Hey, hello. I know someone that operated a crane. Now that's a fucking job. No bullshit. You want a job? Get in the union and operate a crane. Wow. I won't say anything. Except that I would never want for anything again. Maybe I should go get a job as a crane operator. I don't know. Needless to say, I'm going to carry you guys all along on my journey. I just sat here and I violated my own HIPAA protected rights to have my medical information protected. Okay, I protect my mental health information because it's all inaccurate, misdiagnosed bullshit, and a bunch of assholes claiming they know what the fuck they're talking about when they don't. And I do believe they subjected me to a lot of experimentation, medical experimentation, on a human that was non-consensual. That being said, since that's already been done, I really don't have any fear of anybody, like the hepatologist or whoever. Okay, whatever, it's already been done. So use my body for research if you must. If it'll help other people with Hep C, fine. Just don't terrorize me like anyone else did. Needless to say. No, it's not a conspiracy. No, I'm not delusional. There's like proof positive in my mind that it's obvious that non-consensual human experimentation is taking place, has been taking place, whether it be initiated by medical staff or there's any number of options. CPS, probation, medical staff, mental health. Those are my 4. Yes, they are. My son is dead. My son commits suicide. And I do honestly believe it was because of mental health. Was playing the same games with his head as I was being played games with, and also toxic family of origin. I don't, again, please, nobody go back to my family and tell them I am blaming or accusing them of anything. It is my experience and my belief that I have a toxic family of origin. I will not specify anything other than that. I do believe that is why my son commits suicide. I do believe that is why my father commits suicide. And I do believe that is why I attempted suicide more than 10 times, almost successful at least twice. I was hospitalized twice. That being said, mental health medications, we don't even fully understand how they work. And it's your brain. Why F with your brain? Like, seriously? Psych meds are making people worse than they were already to begin with. Than they already were to begin with. That, and they're overdiagnosing medical or mental health conditions that people don't have, and not recognizing medical conditions that cause the same symptoms. Like, seriously. They're not noticing medical conditions that aren't mental health related. causing symptoms that are mental health related, that seem mental health related. But it's because our body is like mind, body, and soul. Like seriously, you have physical, you have mental, and then thank you. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and go now. Thank you guys for watching. Just when people start watching. Yeah. So this video was pretty much to invite everyone to join me on my Hep C eradication journey. I know, personal, sensitive business to share, but if someone could benefit from it, then awesome. Because I'm like sitting here pretty apprehensive about what treatment to get. Is it going to be uncomfortable? Is it going to debilitate me? Is it going to keep me from working? I have a lot of concerns. Like I said, interferon is the only thing I've heard anything about, and interferon is pretty tough from what I hear. And I know we've advanced like a lot since then. That was 10 years ago. So we'll see what happens. I will keep you guys posted. I will start a new series that will pretty much just be me and my Hep C treatment and what I go through, how it affects me, how well I'm able to cope and manage through it all. And that will start once my referral gets to the, okay, yeah. Thank you for watching. Everybody have a lovely day. Deuces. Hasta la pasta. Be gentle with each other. Loving, kind, caring, understanding. Most of all, be understanding, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. I will stay strong. People like you make me stronger. So thank you. Thank you for being supportive and encouraging and understanding, because that's what I'm talking about right there. Understanding.